Hey guys, welcome back to another video in this Astrology Simply Put series. Today we are going to be talking about the 12 houses. I always describe the sign as the how, the planet as the what, and the house as the where. So that's exactly what we'll be talking about today, is the where in your birth chart. There are 12 houses and each one has its own theme. What I will be explaining today definitely will not encompass everything that the 12 houses have to offer, but I'm hoping that it will help you lay a solid foundation in which you can build your own interpretations on top of. So be sure to check out the rest of the series. I'll put a link in the description box below, and if you have any video requests, please comment, and I would love to hear what else, what other information you're looking for. And yeah, my goal is to help demystify astrology so people are able to come up with their own interpretations and to also understand where astrologers are coming up with the interpretations that they are giving, whether it's about your birth chart, past transits in history, and as well as upcoming transits. So I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing and send to a friend who might also enjoy it. And let's get started. Okay, so I always like to start out explaining that the planet is the what, the sign is the how, and the houses are the where or area of life. Today we're going to be talking about the where in the area of life, so the 12 houses. I chose an emoji for each house so it can kind of be like a little cheat sheet. There's going to be way more themes in each one, but I thought this was fun. Feel free to comment below which one is your favorite or what you would choose for whichever house. So first up is the first house. This is also known as our rising sign or ascendant. The planetary ruler is Mars, and the sign is Aries. This is all about the self, our ego, how we perceive ourselves, the filter we view life through, our attitude about life, and our temperament. This describes the style in which we approach life, how we assert ourselves, how we present ourselves to others, and how others perceive us upon first meeting, our first impression. This describes our physical traits, such as our body, physical health, and our personal style. And I chose a quote for each house, and for this one I chose, "There's only one you, and there will never be another one. That's your power." Mel Robbins. Second house, planetary ruler is Venus. The sign is Taurus. This describes how we generate income, our personal finances, and our relationship to them, what we feel we require to feel secure. This is our concept of value, our sense of personal worth and self-esteem, and what we value externally and intrinsically. This describes our attitudes towards our belongings, material possessions, partners, and things such as home and traditions. The quote is, "Personal merit cannot be derived from an external source." Epictetus. Third house, planetary ruler is Mercury. The sign is Gemini. This describes our early learning experiences, learning style, how we process information and how we relay and communicate information, what we enjoy discussing, and preferred media sources. This can describe our immediate surroundings, such as our neighborhood, city we live in, and anything having to do with short distance travel. This can also describe people we encounter in our immediate surroundings, such as siblings and neighbors. The quote I chose is, "Learning never exhausts the mind." Leonardo da Vinci. Fourth house, planetary ruler is the moon. Sign is Cancer. This describes our roots and our core foundation, family history, birthplace, and private life. For home life, this could be the environment we grew up in. It could describe physical property and land and where we feel most comfortable living, the environment we live in today, and where we go for privacy. For family, this describes our relationship with our parents, foundation created upon family's customs passed on to us consciously and unconsciously. This describes our emotional foundation on a subconscious level and our needs for emotional security. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. Earl Nightingale. Fifth house, planetary ruler is the sun. The sign is Leo. This is known as the house of pleasure. It describes what we find pleasure in: hobbies, entertainment, play, what we find to be fun and enjoyable. This describes our unique individual expression, our unique creative expression, which does not always mean artistic or crafty, and things that boost our confidence. This describes what we desire, things that make us feel good, sex, style of dating and flirting, and our courage to take risks. This is also the house of procreation, which leads to parenthood, and describes our relationship with our children from our perspective. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Sixth house, planetary ruler is Mercury. The sign is Virgo. This house describes our day-to-day life, how we approach our daily routine, and what is important to us on a daily basis. This also describes our approach to our health and wellness, special health needs, and health concerns. This can tell us what we do for work and our need to help others, how we serve others with the skills we have. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Albert Einstein. Seventh house, planetary ruler is Venus. The sign is Libra. This describes one-on-one relationships we seek out and attract that are the opposite style of our rising sign, which, if you remember, is how we present ourselves and our approach to the world. This helps us learn skills and lessons from this opposite style and can indicate a solid partnership because of the balance it provides. This describes romantic partnerships that lead to long-term relationships and/or marriage, business partnerships, contracts, and agreements. This can be how we behave in these close, private, one-on-one relationships that people may not readily see unless they are in partnership with us. This also describes open enemies, adversaries, rivals, and competitors because of its opposition to the first house, which is the self. But it doesn't have to be scary because I love the proverb, better an open enemy than a false friend. And for the quote, I put, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Carl Jung. Eighth house, planetary ruler is Pluto. The sign is Scorpio. This is all about shared finances, other people's money, spouse's money, inheritance, and debt. This is known as the house of transformation, the cycle of death, letting go, and rebirth, building upon the new foundation. With a major theme of death and rebirth, this house reveals how we deal with such cycles and what our letting go process is. This is also the house of taboo topics such as sex, death, and occult studies. I see this as a very psychological yet spiritual house because it reveals unseen, hidden truths that can lead to intense transformation. Step into the fire of self-discovery. This fire will not burn you. It will only burn what you are not. Muji. Ninth house, planetary ruler is Jupiter. The sign is Sagittarius. Keywords for this house are higher education, ideology, perspective, philosophy, belief system, religious or spiritual, mental exploration, expansion of the mind, and teaching skills. This also describes long-distance travel and communications, relations to foreign countries, and language skills. Look here for moral code and personal ethics, and matters pertaining to law and order. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Albert Einstein. 10th house, planetary ruler is Saturn. The sign is Capricorn. At the top of the chart shows our ambitions, aspirations, and what we are striving for. This describes our sense of responsibility and duty, our relationship with our career, and long-term goals. This describes our social status, public persona. It can indicate fame and recognition, and dealing with any matters outside of the home. This describes our sense of authority in relationship to authority structures outside of ourselves, our desire for power, and how we cope with it. You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets. Arnold Schwarzenegger. 11th house planetary ruler is Uranus. The sign is Aquarius. Keywords for this house are social life, friendships, community, networks, humanitarianism, and futuristic. This house can show our involvement in groups and communities, our networks, connections and associations, and how we function in them, as well as our reasoning for being involved. Hopes, dreams, and objectives in life that aren't necessarily career-oriented, involvement in humanitarian efforts, and innovative ideas. This also brings the theme of science, astrology, and astronomy, studies that help improve society, and efforts that help the collective reach new heights. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Albert Einstein. 12th house planetary ruler is Neptune. The sign is Pisces. The final house representing the unconscious, mental health, institutions such as hospitals, patterns and habits of escapism and seclusion, and the root of psychological difficulties. Like the themes listed above, other unseen topics related to this house include dreams, our spiritual connection, and psychic abilities. This can describe karmic patterns and the ending of cycles, subconscious habits, and lessons that require conscious effort to explore and resolve. Because of the spiritual nature of this house, it can also indicate artistic abilities and talents and activities such as poetry, music, film, and dance. Until you make the subconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. So that wraps up the 12 houses, which are the where or the area in life. Here's my little emoji cheat sheet. Don't forget to comment your favorite one below or what you would choose. And thank you so much for watching. If you like to support this channel, you can like this video, subscribe, and/or utilize the thanks button below, and we'll see you on the next one.